Assalamu alaikum, Zhiguli Travel is visiting Luxor in Egypt. Luxor is called the world's greatest open-air museum, as the ruins of the temple complexes at Karnak and Luxor stand within the modern city. It is also one of the oldest inhabited cities in the world. In this video, we will walk on the East Bank of Luxor. To help us navigate the city, we will be using GPSmycity App. GPSmycity offers 3 different self-guided walking tours in Luxor to help you explore the city. Today we will follow the Luxor East Bank walk. For a full detailed walk, check the GPSmycity app. Our first stop, Karnak Temples. The Karnak Temples is a complex at Luxor and second only to the Great Pyramids in terms of popularity. The immense site was built mainly in dedication to the god Amun-Re, along with his wife Mut and son Khonsu, from around 1600 BC. Constructions and additions to the site continued for over 1300 years, with more than 30 pharaohs providing embellishments in order to appease the gods. The site in its entirety measures around 1 mile by 2 miles. Within that space lie around 25 different temples. Along with the temples, there are chapels, shrines, obelisks, sanctuaries, friezes, and colossal statues to marvel at. One of the main highlights of the complex is the Hypostyle Hall, which is considered one of the ancient Egyptians' chief architectural and engineering feats. The hall features 134 immense pillars rising to more than 75 feet. On the same complex we can also find Karnak Open Air Museum. The Karnak Open Air Museum contains many reconstructed ancient Egyptian buildings and temples. In ancient times, a new pharaoh would often dismantle previous constructions and then use the stone blocks to hardcore to shore up new buildings, or they were left as rubble infill. During later excavations, these stone slabs were found forming parts of pylons underneath paving or simply lying around and were pieced back together. Completed reconstructions here include the Chapel of Sesostris I, which has remarkable hieroglyphs both inside and out. These hieroglyphs are early versions and are so precisely chiseled that they may very well be the best example in Karnak, even though they are roughly 1,000 years older than many other panels. El-Hagag Chapel of Amenhotep I at the site is also truly remarkable. The next site, located just a short walk away from Karnak Temples, is the Temple of Mut. The Temple of Mut at Luxor is dedicated to the wife of Amun-Re, who was considered the protective mother and defender of Egypt. If angered, she could turn on humankind, and so the construction of the Grand Temple at Thebes and many of the ceremonies carried out here during pharaonic times were aimed at appeasing her. The temple here was part of the triad of sacred religious sites at Thebes in the New Kingdom period. Built during the reign of Amenhotep III, the entrance of the site is linked to the Luxor Temple by the Avenue of Sphinxes. Check with the guards at the site for opening and guided tours throughout the temple. Walking down Mabad al-Karnak Road, we will get to El-Souk, Luxor. The souks, or the local markets, are among the most interesting attractions of Egypt. It is no exception in Luxor. El-Souk is a local market near Luxor Temple. There are lots of merchandise on display, spices, scarves, leather goods, and much more. Locals also come here to shop for food and supplies, so you will also see stands selling fruits, vegetables, and meat. Be prepared for every shop owner to try to entice you into their shop. It's all part of the experience, and enjoy it for what it is. If you are interested in buying something in the market, do not forget to bargain. Haggling can be a bit of fun on both sides. Just across the street there is El-Hagag Mosque. It stands atop the ruins of Luxor Temple, an ancient Egyptian center of worship dating back to the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III in the 14th century BC. Although its positioning atop the pharaonic columns seems both precarious and invasive, the Mosque of El-Hagag must be seen as more than just a coincidental intruder. First, when the mosque was built, large parts of the temple were covered with earth. Secondly, it is not uncommon for a religious kinship between ancient Egyptian cult places and local version of popular Islam to be recreated. When the pharaonic temples were unearthed in the late 19th century, the locals fiercely resisted any attempt to tear down the mosque. For them, the geographical position was important, and a new mosque also dedicated to El-Hagag has never become very popular. Luxor Temple on the banks of River Nile is one of the many impressive ancient Egyptian constructions that can be seen in the area that was once known as Thebes, an ancient capital of Egypt. Pharaoh Amenhotep III built the temple during his reign in 1319 between 1353 BC, and it was dedicated to the Egyptian god Amun-Re and his wife Mut. Tutankhamun further decorated the temple, and Ramses II later added the front aspect to the temple, and although there were once two grand obelisks standing there, one of them was later taken to La Place de la Concorde in Paris. Alexander the Great rebuilt the sanctuary and chapel at the rear of the temple. To the right of the open court is a chapel that was built by Thutmosis III and Queen Hatshepsut. Walking along the River Nile will take us to our last stop, Luxor Museum. The Luxor Museum is small when compared to the scale of the Cairo Museum, but houses some highly significant pieces. Some of the items that are now on show include gods taken from the tomb of Tutankhamun, 26 well-preserved stone statues from the period of the New Kingdom that were found buried in a cache at the Luxor Temple, and mummies of the pharaohs Ahmose I and Ramses I. One of the most striking pieces of the Tutankhamun collection is the large red granite head of Amenhotep III, the cow goddess. We hope you enjoyed this travel guide of Luxor, and we are looking forward for you to join us on our next adventure in the near future. Take care, guys!